She noticed, that I use wrists and sharp, things, and I didn't outwardly say she was, like, slitting her wrists in a suicidal way. That wasn't even my intention, but she drew that out anyway. And so, I think my main question is, how can creative writing workshops, especially on the larger scale, be done well enough, in terms of not being destructive to the work itself? Because you have all of these students say, like I was saying, 21 peers to one, piece that's like 10 pages or something. And it's double spaced, so, it's technically about half that, but still. I really, it's kind of something that I'm trying to work in my own mind, and I think really what it is that it's a double standard in a lot of regards. It's a huge double standard, and a friend of mine and I were talking about it just now, and she's posting, examples of things. I don't want to read them because they're parts of her novel that she's working on with a friend. It's a collaboration, and so, Steinbeck was known for lots of purple prose, Hawthorne especially, and you have to keep in mind that those books were written years before, we had any sort of entertainment like the internet or television. They had to draw their entertainment from these books. And effectively, they wanted to be able to savor, these sensory details and these other things. But now, it's just like everybody wants things that are quick. They don't want tags at the end of their dialogue. They don't want, well, I don't know, she sighed. Like, there's just really, and I think that, to a point, collegiate level workshops are very helpful to the writer, but they're also incredibly hindering. A lot of writers push that you need to read to be a better writer. I couldn't agree more with that. I think that there needs to be more reading. In all creative writing classes, there needs to be a lot more reading, because the more you broaden your reading horizons, the more you can, style your own voice. And really, a lot of people's complaints about what happens is, you read too much Raymond Carver, you start sounding like Carver. You read too much Paul Yoon, you start sounding like Yoon. You read too much Hemingway, you start sounding like Hemingway. But without being given the freedom to, play with these different voices that you idolize or you want to, simulate or replicate within your own writing to try and get a feel for yourself, you can't be afraid of that. And I think that one of the worst things that a creative writing teacher can do is hinder you in terms of writing, telling you that your writing sucks, that your writing is didactic, which means that it's, I believe it's preachy, or it's either preachy or flat, one of the two. I think it's flat. I got that from a professor last semester, and these are graduate students that are teaching, special ones, I guess, that get privileged to teach creative writing courses. And so it crushed me a little bit, because this piece was like, essentially going to be a part of something bigger. And had I been 3 years younger, I would have cried my eyes out for days, and I wouldn't have written for months, So I think that, personally, I'm learning as a student how I'm going to craft my ability to teach around the flaws that I see. Like, for example, Allison Layfield is excellent, and I'm throwing her name out there because she's great. She's fantastic. I could take critique from her all day. And to be honest, I was in a course with her. It wasn't creative writing. It was a zombie and literature class. It was more rhetoric-based, but it was very, very good in terms of how to take a reading, like the ones we used were Leslie Marmon Silko's Ceremony, Chicken Soup for the Philosophy for the Undead, these different things, and how to, apply the certain things that we learn from texts into reading, into movies, and really write them, in a way that would teach us how to be more efficient with rhetoric. And I think that that's great. I think that every creative writing student needs rhetoric in terms of how to write papers and how to format. Another thing, too, is that a lot of high school teachers, especially at my high school, they assumed that students knew grammar and knew punctuation and knew how to use it. And honestly, the last time I was taught a grammar lesson of any kind was 4th grade? No. 3rd grade? Miss Wallard? Yeah, she was great. So I really think that there are a lot of things that, especially English teachers, creative writing professors, are not taking into account that they need to for their students. And that's just some thoughts there, guys. Leave some comments down below. Tell me what you think. I know that quite a few of my friends that watch my channel are writers themselves. Give me some of your feedback on what you think about this stuff. And I'll see you guys later.